Have you ever felt like you just can't stick with anything? Have you ever felt like every time you get some momentum, you lose focus? Or like you just can't garner up the discipline to be diligent in a single pursuit? I know I can't be the only one that has ever thought this about the visionpreneurship journey. And I'm going to share with you three reasons why I believe we give up so fast and what we can do to solve this problem so we can become more consistent individuals and more consistent visionaries.
You're listening to the Build Your Vision podcast, a podcast about building a life and business you are proud of as a Christian coach, consultant, or educational content creator. I'm Clee the Visionary, your host and CVO, Chief Visionary Officer. And in each episode, this show is designed to help you get a little more clear because you can't build or create while you're confused. Let's go.
I will start almost 6 years ago, 2019. I was on a charter bus on my way to San Francisco. And I was about a week or 2 weeks away from getting my bachelor's degree. And I used to sing in a choral ensemble when I was in school. Got to travel the world. We competed all over South Africa, England, Wales, all these different places. We were one of the premier choirs in the whole globe, on the whole globe. So we were on trips rather frequently. Honestly, I don't remember being at school much. It was really like, think of Alabama football or Duke basketball. It was much like that. We were on this particular trip to San Francisco. We were going to do a quick tour around the Bay Area. And it was maybe about 3 a.m. in the morning. So like got in real late. And we're driving and I'm looking through the window. It's quiet. Everybody's knocked out, tired, sleep. And I see a car start to veer over into the lane in front of us. And I remember our manager was on the front seat and he was telling the bus driver, hey, you need to pay attention. This car doesn't look like it's right. Right. And I'm kind of watching all this happen. And eventually that car that was in front of us lost control. And literally I could see the high beams of the bus shining into this person's car who's perpendicular to the bus. So we're about to T-bone this guy. And I'm, those moments, if you've ever been in an accident, you brace for impact. You say Jesus and you brace for impact because you know it's about to go down. And we kind of run into this guy. The bus driver was actually able to slow down a good amount, so we didn't completely crush him. So we just got in an accident. Everybody's woken up. Oh, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of commotion. Everybody's like, hey, everybody just calm down, calm down. And I really don't know because time moves weird in these types of situations. But a few moments later, we hear a huge pow that goes into the back of the bus. The whole bus lurches forward a few feet. Someone reared into the back of the bus on the highway. We had to get off the bus. It was a huge collision. I mean, it was loud. It shook everybody. So everybody was, get off the bus, get off the bus, get off the bus. So we're filing off the bus. To make a long story short, the car hit us at such a high speed that it was completely under the bus. And we're sitting on the side of the road, and I lied to you not. It was like a movie. The bus exploded. Blew up in flames. We were on the national news, all these different things. It was a huge spectacle. All my luggage incinerated. I'm sharing this story with you because something just happened in 2024 connected to this story that happened in 2019. So, needless to say, we had to go through the rest of that trip. We still did the tour, right? In fact, because it made the national news, people began to donate clothes to us so we could go do our events and all these different things. They were interviewing us at like H&M and all these different things, right? And then I think maybe the next day after the incident, they told us to go to the hospital. just precautions. Now make sure everything's fine. Get checked out. You might need it later. Blah blah blah. You don't know what could happen in an accident. Go to the hospital. Now, I'll tell you one thing about me. I've always been an independent thinker, and I decided to myself, I'm not going to the hospital. I know exactly what's about to happen. I'm going to be there all day long. They're going to realize that I'm not dying, and they're going to send me home. And I would have lost an entire day that I could have been in the Bay, because that was one of the rest days for us. We weren't going to be performing. So I'm like, no, I'm enjoying the city. I'm going to the pier. I'm trying to look at Alcatraz. I'm going to do all this stuff, right? And I went about my business, and I was right. They were there all day long. They didn't get to see nothing. And I was out there enjoying myself, went to a nice Thai restaurant, all this, because I'm like, man, I'm not going to let this ruin my time here. We had to sing a song in front of the person's daughter that hit our bus. Fatal accident. And it's needless to say that when we returned from that trip, none of us were quite the same. To have to sing a song in front of this 15-year-old girl that just lost her dad in just some freak accident. You expected him to come home that night. He didn't. Why am I sharing all this with you? When we left, my school was in Alabama. When we left to go to San Francisco, flew out there, got on the bus, we realized that we were going on, and for lots of us who were about to graduate that year, this was going to be our last tour. This was going to be our last journey. And we didn't expect that journey to go that way. In fact, it went completely sideways. And I want to stop here because there's a few things I want us to understand about journeys, right? You might hear me say this term a lot, the visionpreneurship journey. Visionpreneurship is a journey, the journey. I very, very actually rarely talk about the vision itself. Most of the time we're talking about clarity or the journey. One thing that I noticed in the world, there is no lack of vision. People have it. The problem is the process of getting to it. This is what differentiates dreamers and visionaries. The action in the middle. Lots and lots of dreamers out there. There's no lack of creativity. There's no lack of any of those things. Lots of vision out there. But who's going to be the person who could go through and endure the journey of the process to make it a reality? Who to become the term visionary, right? This is people we call visionaries. Steve Jobs, right? Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all these people have done magnificent things with an idea, right? Sell books online. What? Right? 3 things. You can write these down. Number 1. This is part of the reason why we give up so fast. Thinking that casting vision means casting the journey. Thinking that casting vision means casting the journey. You set the vision, you're like, oh, I could see it. I could see this glimpse of this thing. I know what I want it to look like. I know what my life to be. I know how I want to make this impact in the world. And here's what we start doing. We start doing math. You're like, if this is the goal, it's 2024. If I can just get about 10 signups a month, charging blah blah blah, and we start doing the math, right? By 2026, we start casting the journey, doing the math. And you can always cast the vision, but you can never cast the journey. Whenever I think about the journey, I think about Moses. Moses always comes to mind when I think about journeys. I mean, if you look at this man's story, the thing that I think most people overlook is that Moses always had the vision of deliverance. From the very beginning. I don't know what his mother did when raising him, but this dude never, ever second guessed who he was. He was raised in an Egyptian household, but never, ever questioned his Hebrew nationality. And He had a vision of justice, deliverance for his people. And we know what happened in his story when he was a little younger. He acted on it,
Mhm.
ended up messing up a little bit and killed somebody. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose, but probably could have been real strong. Didn't realize he took the dude out, put him to sleep for a little too long. Had to flee, right? Because he realized he got seen. He thought he was going to get away with it. 40-year sabbatical. Ends up becoming a shepherd. You know what? I'm just going to live my life. The Prince of Egypt was cool, but I'm chilling. I'm good. Gets called 40 years later by God to do the same thing that was on his heart all back then, but he left it alone. He said, I don't do that no more. I'm you saw what it did the first time? I'm good. I'm straight. But God was persistent. And on that process, I think about all the things that Moses went through. I mean, I don't actually know how long it took between them leaving Egypt and when Moses passed. But it was a very, very long time. They were right there at the border of the promised land of Canaan. In fact, the Lord let Moses see, even though he wasn't able to go in. That's a whole nother story. But 40 years in the wilderness. Now, remember, we start doing the math. So Canaan is about how far? We're in Egypt, go through the Gaza Strip. It's an 11-day journey. We should start doing math, right? But we don't know what God is doing on the journey. The scriptures say that it took them around the way because they were not fit for the people who were in the land. The people in the land would have destroyed them. So they had to go around another way. Talking about the journey here. Things that we don't understand, but yet we're doing math on how to cast the journey because we can cast the vision. One thing I think may have heard before, if you haven't heard it before, I'm going to say it now. Clarity gives speed. Everybody ever heard that before? Clarity gives speed. Clarity does give speed, but clarity doesn't apply speed to the vision. Clarity applies speed to the obedience. You think about this process of the Israelites going through this journey to the promised land. Now remember, a land flowing of milk and honey, that's the vision. Liberation, a land flowing with milk and honey, a sovereign nation. That's the vision. Now, what did they see? Man, we just see this pillar of cloud every day. What the heck's going on here? We got to follow this. We ain't even got no food. We got to get rations daily. What is happening? But they were clear on the vision and they were clear on the command. Clarity gives speed to obedience. Do it immediately. God tells you to do that thing. Stop trying to do all the algebra. Stop trying to do all the math. Thinking, well, how am I going to do this if this trajectory goes for this, then I'm not going to be having enough income and you're trying to do all this stuff. And he's saying, I need you to use the clarity that I've given you to act speedily in obedience, not speedily to the destination. This is part of the reason why we give up so fast. Follow this pillar of cloud. What? Cross this sea. Are you kidding me? Build this tabernacle. March around this city. All these different things. These were just clarified assignments. Half of this stuff don't even make sense. What does this got to do with us getting to the promised land? Build a tabernacle? Are we staying here? Why are you telling me to build a tabernacle? But it gives clarity for the obedience. Lots of times we think we got to hustle and grind so hard because we got to get there in time. And God is saying, look, I need you to hustle and grind on the assignment I gave you last. Part of the reason why we give up so fast. So point number one, thinking that casting vision means casting the journey. Point number two, we don't plan for fires. Don't plan for fires. There will be times you will feel like your journey has gone up in flames. What do we say, right? I was doing good, and then life started lifing. With a capital L. Oh my goodness. I was doing good, and then life just started lifing. Don't plan for fires. I guarantee you, none of us planned for all of our luggage to get incinerated on site on that trip. I'm so glad I carried my backpack and my laptop was in it because I would have been screwed. Now, granted, the school did reimburse me for all the stuff, but planning for fires. It's going to be one thing after the other. Saw the person swerve off the road, hit this car in front of us. All of us are jolted, then get hit from behind. Then the bus blows up. Then we all got to get in squad cars to get off the highway so we don't get hit by oncoming traffic. It was just one thing after another, and you feel like I'm just getting hit. And you're like, I can't even get up. If we go in understanding that God is doing a work, the vision is not about us. It's about what we can do for others. It's about what we do for his kingdom. And it's about who we become in the process. He could care less about how much you bring in. He could care about less about how big your influence is, how many followers you got, how big your ministry. He cares about you. Are you becoming the person that I need you to be to come into my kingdom? That's what he's really working out. Plan for the fires. Tried by fire. Purified. Right? This is how gold is purified. If you're starting your visionpreneurship journey, or if you're in the middle of it, or you're far along in it, plan for fires. Be prepared. Have the fire extinguisher in. Have the smoke detectors up. Whatever it is, be prepared for fires because you know they're coming. And when you get hit with one, you won't be blindsided. These are part of the reasons why we give up so fast. We start doing math. We plan our process. And when fires come, oh man, this might be a sign that I'm not supposed to do. We say all kinds, especially church people. We be getting weird. A prophet told me once, like, God, if you don't stop it, obey. Okay? We don't plan for fires. Third, we aren't emotionally prepared for the collateral damage. Sometimes your journey will make you feel like all you're doing is hurting people. Whether that's yourself, whether that's your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your spouse, your partner, whoever it is, collateral damage in the process is almost inevitable. Now, of course, we always want to operate with emotional intelligence. This is not an excuse to not operate with emotional intelligence. But this is preparing ourselves emotionally for things that we cannot control because of the journey that we're on. Yes, we were stopped in the middle of the road. We had nothing to do with a car rear-ending the back of the bus. That was something that just happened. But yet, we have to deal with the emotional turmoil of that incident. You didn't mean for you to start this journey to separate you from that relationship. But we have to deal with the emotional collateral damage that happens from the journey. You didn't plan for you to have to go into isolation period of prayer and fasting in order to get the clarity that you need for the journey that you're on. But we have to emotionally prepare for the collateral damage. And when we are not emotionally prepared for the collateral damage, we start blaming ourselves for everything that's going wrong, not realizing that you're going to have to take out some Ammonites, some Jebusites, and some Amalekites on the way. It is part of the process. Some of the people that started the journey with you are going to have to die in the wilderness. Of course, I'm speaking figuratively here. But not everybody can go where you're going. Some people, the same people that you serve, sometimes it might be your very own sister, it might be Miriam, speaks out against you in front of everybody. This is a real story. Moses' very own sister talking trash to him in front of everyone. The Lord got her right real quick with that. But this just shows when you are in a position of leading a vision, people will turn on you. We have to be emotionally prepared to handle that, to keep going. These are part of the reasons why we give up so fast. Thinking that casting vision means the same as casting the journey. Don't plan for fires. We aren't emotionally prepared for the collateral damage that comes along. There's lots of things that come with this process. Forfeiting income for a dream, investing income into a dream, periods of isolation, changing social circles, ending old relationships and lifestyles. It doesn't just hurt you, it also can hurt other people. We have to be prepared. So I didn't finish the story. The story keeps going. So we do our tour in the Bay Area and we come back. Maybe a few weeks, a month later, get a call from a law firm. And by the way, my mom's on this call. She does not know this story. She knows part of it. She thinks she knows where I'm going. She does not know where I'm going. Get a call from a law firm. And they start having us do all this paperwork and I'm filling it out and all this stuff. I mean, just asinine amounts of stuff that don't even make sense. I'm like, this doesn't even apply to the situation. What are y'all talking about? And lots of like miscommunication and emails lapsing. And I said, you know what? What are they going to do? Reimburse me for? And they were saying to put these things down for like mental health problems from the accident and all this. I'm like, I don't know. I was trying to process all this stuff. I'm like, but we go through this process, right? And nothing ever happened. They just kept going through legal minutia for a year. It was 2 years. It was 3 years. 4 years. 5 years. We're in 2024. I look in the group chat. There's a group chat. I'm watching all this go on. I'm seeing all this happening. It's just annoying. I feel bad, right? This is just ridiculous. Almost 6 years later, this is crazy. Get a call. Everybody, go check your email. I'm like, well, what's going on? They said, hey, you need to call this number right now so they can get your bank account information. You're looking at the legal fees, you're like, man, there's going to be about 48% of legal fees taken out of this. I tell y'all, each person got $25,000 each. And I was not one of them because I gave up on the journey. I didn't want to go through the hassle of going to the hospital. That's too hard. I didn't want to go through the minutia of all the legal work in the papers. What are y'all doing? It's not going to make a difference anyway. What you going to get? $2,500 for all this once they take all the legal fees out? 6 years cashed out. Don't get tired. Please listen to me. And $25,000. If you don't listen to me, listen to the 25K. Don't get tired. You're going to be looking foolish for years. And you know what? I saw this message about 3 to 4 weeks after the fact. I stopped checking that thing. I wasn't checking it no more. This happened in about November. And I thought about messaging everyone to congratulate them because there was about 17 people on that bus. I say about maybe 8 got paid. Congratulating them on and during the journey. But I was at a loss of words of what to say. I'm mentioning that detail because the people who were criticizing you, the people who were saying, bruh, it's been 5, give it up, bro. You need to get real. You need to be a man and go do your thing, bruh. Stop do all this dreaming stuff. Stop it. You looking silly. They're going to be silent when you win. Not going to say nothing until you see him in person. Oh man, you know what? I knew. Yeah. Every genius was once called crazy. Oh, he's a genius now. She's a genius now. Don't get tired. Do not get weary in well-doing, for at the proper time you will reap the harvest. Please stay with it. It's a journey. You don't want to regret giving up on the journey. Tim Grover, the famed trainer of Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, some of the top performing athletes in the world, says it like this. I'll close with this. If you think the pain of discipline is high, just wait until you get the bill of regret.